Hello, and I welcome you to the post-National Games entry of our video blog, and hopefully over the next few weeks and months I'll be able to show you some of the awesome things that happened over that week's time. I was not over this next airlift, however, I was at the Nebraska Welcome, or what's also tends to be called the send-off party for all the 286 athletes, and plus the coaches and everyone else involved. Send them off to the dorms and get settled in. This was over at the Embassy Suites, however, downtown, which is pretty close to the university if you know your downtown Lincoln geography. This was a pretty interesting time. Now when it came in, I thought it was just going to be an informal event, get to meet all the people from Team Nebraska, the people you know, plus maybe a few people you don't. Just sip on some punch, maybe have a little dinner, lunch, excuse me, this was during noonish, and then just kind of hang out like that. Apparently.
Find a seat. We're going to get started in just a few minutes.
Get started? You mean as a program? I thought this is a casual event.
That's right. Program. This wasn't quite as informal as I expected it to be. It was pretty structured. A few speakers, then dinner, and then came the informality. Over the next few times, I'll be able to show you some of the speakers that spoke to us during that time. I think there was a total of 5. I'm going to start out with one which Carolyn Chamberlain, the head of Special Olympics Nebraska, will introduce.
We're going to get our party started. Can you believe we are finally here? We have been working on this endeavor for about 3 years, and it's hard to believe that in less than 24 hours you will be marching into Devaney for opening ceremonies and getting this week started. So I want to acknowledge our athletes, all of you, for your outstanding efforts in making it to this level. And I, personally, I'm Carolyn, by the way, if you don't know me, I'm with Special Olympics Nebraska. I am proud to have you represent our state program this week, and I think you're going to have a great time, and you're going to make a lot of friends from all over our country. I also our coaches who took on this commitment and have worked with you diligently to practice and have taken care of every demand that we put on them, that the National Games put on them, and still managed to take care of their family and their own jobs. So let's give it up for our coaches. And we have some other special guests who've been working hard this week, and that would be our final leg torch runners who are here. Let's give them a hand. And then we've got some special guests here who are going to speak to you today. These are folks who have been successful in the sports arena, and I want to make sure that that you get a chance to hear from you. And And then we have some UNL athletes here representing softball, women's basketball, football, and track. And they're up here, and some of you may have met them too. So I know you're hungry, and so we're going to get this started. Here's some encouragement from some of our friends here today. So I want to welcome Brenden Stai. He is a former Husker football and an NFL player. He was drafted. He was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 3rd round of the 1995 NFL Draft. And he also played for the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Detroit Lions, and the Washington Redskins. He earned an AFC championship with Pittsburgh in '95, and during his time at Nebraska, he also had honors. So hold your applause so I can read them all, because there are many. In 1994, Brenden was named first-team All-American by the Football Writers, Walter Camp, and UPI, second-team All-American by AP, and first-team All-Big 8 by AP and coaches. And he was known for his strength and his ability to execute pancakes. So he can tell you about that. He averaged 11 per game with a season best 17 against Oklahoma State. So please welcome Brenden Stai.
Great, thank you. Carolyn, thank you very much. I'd like to thank Nebraska Special Olympic Committee, Guy Rozier, Carolyn, and especially all the parents here. Thank you for doing everything you could to get your athletes here, get your family members here. One thing throughout my career, the one thing that I learned moving forward in any sort of event, whether it was personally in my life or with a sport, was always to compete. And you guys have exemplified that. Give yourself a big round of applause right now. It's amazing. I was reading the paper. I guess we've got 160 planes coming in every 2 minutes today. That's quite the effort. And, of course, what you guys have done in providing the competition for those athletes coming in, I just want to commend you for that. Obviously, representing the state of Nebraska is huge. When I was a University of Nebraska football player, every day we were reminded by Coach Osborne that when you walk out of the stadium, when you walk off the campus, you were always representing the University of Nebraska, which represented the state of Nebraska, and that's what you guys have the ability to do today. The one thing that, I go back to the competing thing. Even with my kids today, I coach youth football. I deal with kids on a daily basis as far as trying to motivate them, and the one thing that I always talk about is it's how hard you work and how hard you compete, and definitely you guys have done that to get to this point. So give yourself another big round of applause. And just real quick, I want to give you a little story of an experience that I had. Coming out of Nebraska, of course, we won the national championship. I couldn't be more proud. Obviously, I think about that every day. It's a part of my life. It's a part of who I am. When I got into the NFL, I had an opportunity to start as a rookie. And after the 5th game, we were 2-3. Wasn't starting, but I was a backup to 6 guys that committed themselves every single day and went out there and battled in the trenches. And that 6th game, I came into our meeting, and Coach Cower pulled me aside and said, "You're starting." And I was, the thing about it, I was mentally ready. I was physically ready because I'd gotten my body and my whole career before that, I prepared myself for this moment, but mentally I was ready. And, at that level, it's 90% mental, 10% physical. And so I was ready to roll. We went on a 9-game winning streak, ended up capturing a bye in the first round, went all the way to the Super Bowl. Okay, and in the Super Bowl we played the Dallas Cowboys, and it was in Arizona. It was Super Bowl 30. The great thing about that game was when we got there, we went and we practiced at this junior college, and a month before, Nebraska was there, and they tore up the fields practicing. They had to replace the grass because Nebraska was there. And then, of course, at Sun Devil Stadium, Tommy lit it up and down the field, just ripping Florida Gators, and you know what. But anyhow, so here I am. I'm practicing. I've got my Nebraska shorts on, my Nebraska shirt that I wore throughout the season as a senior at Nebraska. The karma was good for me. Everything was going in the right direction. Coach Cower didn't mind me wearing Nebraska stuff. It was all about the win. And when we got into the game, it was a tough game. We didn't start off the game very well, but we ended up playing the rest of the game, the second and third and fourth quarters, like we did all year. We fought back. We came very close. And my point is, we didn't win the game. Okay, and it's not about winning all the time. It's about competing. Okay, all you guys are going to have the ability to compete. You might not win a medal, but it's the effort and it's the journey that you've put in to this point to get to where you're at that you should be proud of. I was very proud to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Obviously, we didn't win the game. We won the AFC Championship. But then again, it's the journey. It's the little battles that are fought throughout the way. And, of course, the hard work and the dedication that I put in, much like what you guys have done, you've got to be very proud of. So I wish you luck. Stay very hydrated, okay? It's super hot out there, you guys. When you get into competing, a lot of times you'll forget about that. So you got to make sure you're constantly telling yourself, stay hydrated, stay hydrated. It's a hot one out there. Good luck to you, and go Special Olympics, Nebraska.
More highs from Nebraska Welcome next time. I'm Crippen. Catching the flip side.